In the last video, we were given this completely free Yamaha Vino, and it makes sense on why this thing was free, but this time we're building the engine in this thing, and we're going to make it do wheelies. For under $200, we got this thing ripping, and I'm going to show you exactly how we did it.
Alright boys, welcome back to the channel. We are back with another engine build, and this time it's for our free Yamaha Vino project. Last time we filmed this Vino project, you saw that it was dropped off to us for free from a local homie that we bought a pre-bug from years and years ago. And when we stripped it all apart, we ended up finding a really dirty carb and just some small other issues. After going through and fixing the issues that we noticed right away, we took the top end off, checked everything in there, we put the engine back together, and then we slapped on an S23 pipe that you see right here. After we did all that, we got this thing to fire up and it would not stay running. And I think that issue is just because that carb was the worst condition carb I have ever seen on any scooter I've ever gotten. And after being very unsatisfied of how this went down last time, I decided we're gonna take this scooter and we're gonna be building the cheapest budget build 70 kit that I've ever done. After searching online for the cheapest cylinder I can find, I found the aerosol kit. And we actually grabbed this one from Scooter Attack, so thank you guys for helping us get these parts as cheap as we possibly could. We were able to get this cylinder right here for right under $80 US. We got a Pliny CP19 carb for $90, and then we had a random spare reed cage that I had from an intake that will go right on this engine. I had a used air filter. We grabbed a quick throttle, but I actually don't think this is gonna work because we don't have the proper throttle cable for it. We got some new grips. We have a MOPBOYZ variator, which I believe is for a Minarelli, but this was also a spare one that I just had sitting around that's very used, as you can tell. And also a MOPBOYZ clutch, which only has the white springs in it right now, so hopefully we have some springs for that. Very excited to try out this cylinder. It's one of the cheapest, but still quality cylinders that I could find. This is a 70 kit, and it's an aluminum dual ring cylinder kit. We are going to be using the stock crank still. I'm hoping that the stock crank in these engines is still good. Typically, the horizontal Minarellis do have a decent stock crank in them compared to the vertical Minarellis. First impressions, it really does not look any lower quality than the Stage 6 aluminums. Except for the D-port exhaust that's on here. I've never seen that on a 70 kit. That's typically something you see on a stock 50 kit. And yeah, we could port all that out, but we're not doing all that with this one. We're going for straight budget and slap together free scooter right now. But today, I want to get this thing all the way thrown together and hopefully finally running in this video, because last time we were let down a little bit. So we're coming back with a full swing.
Well, it is time to get the redemption on the clapped Yamaha Vino. Last time we spent some labor on trying to get this thing running in its stock form, and we were let down with a super dirty carb and a still clapped bike. So this time we came in with our budget build, and we're going to make this thing right. And we have all the parts here today to actually do it. From a brand new cylinder kit, brand new carb, and then some used parts we have sitting around on the shelf, we're going to get this thing ripping and doing some wheelies. So first things first, we're going to get this thing torn down, just like we did last time, except this time we're not going to be reusing a lot of these parts, but we're actually going to be leaving the motor in the bike. And that's something very uncommon on this channel because I always do the motor builds on the workbench, but not with this thing. We are going full budget mode on time and money. We're tossing out some old parts, throwing away other parts that were shockingly bad.
Let's just make sure we're getting some spark here. We're definitely getting spark. I just got shocked through the whole entire bike right now.
So we continued stripping down the motor, pulling off the intake, and getting ready to throw in our new reed block. And we quickly realized that the reed block we have was a straight reed block, and this engine actually has like a 45-degree reed. So another part that's not going to work for today. We keep losing our part list, it gets smaller and smaller as we continue this build after we lost our throttle, the throttle cable, and we don't really want to put the grips on now since we're not able to use the new throttle. And now we can't use our reed block. We have all the little bits in our cylinder kit here with the piston rings, piston clips, gaskets we need, exhaust gasket, our fresh piston, which looks decent. It looks a little bit cheap, but given this thing was under $80, I didn't expect too much. But surprisingly, the cylinder actually looks pretty good. The porting isn't that bad. I've seen worse on some Pliny cylinders. Here's a size difference on the piston from the stock one we have on the left to our upgraded aerosol one on the right. A little bit bigger. Small upgrade for the 70, but it creates a lot of power for these bikes. The cylinders look pretty identical. They both have D ports, which is surprising to me still with the 70 kit. I don't think I've ever seen a D port on a 70 kit, but maybe I just haven't bought this lower of a kit before first scooter. So we continued back on the motor, getting it prepped to do the cylinder swap, and we cleaned everything up with some carb cleaner and then slapped the piston in. Alright, we threw on the meta glasses to try this out real quick and see if we like this point of view. So we got everything stripped apart right now, and we got the piston on, piston rings in there, pistons lubed up. We'll lube up the inner cylinder with some 2-stroke oil, and we'll slide it all together. Got a little bit on the piston. We honestly slapped so much S23 bond on that, but like I said, we're slapping this thing together. Some oil. Coat her up in the cylinder. Get that bad boy right there. Line up our piston rings. These are some strong piston rings on this thing. There she goes. Alright, let's get that head thrown on. Alright. We got a fresh plug for her. Right there. Alright. Make sure it's not hidden. Feels good. Alright. And there she is with the carb thrown on, our new cylinder kit all sealed up, and our new coil wire that hopefully does not shock us anymore with a new boot. Everything is looking amazing in there. Can't forget our S23 V8 style exhaust. Can't think of a single reason why this thing won't fire up. Let's see what happens. It's really late at night, so pretty much just gonna fire it up and shut it off. Major exhaust leak, but it fired up, so we gotta fix that exhaust leak though. The Vino lives, finally. We swapped the exhaust gasket out because the exhaust leak was terrible, so we put a different one in. She runs. Well, now that we know the motor runs and we got rid of the parts that we're not going to be using today, we have our remainder parts for the CVTs. And this is a MOPBOYZ Multivar CVT in the front with a MOPBOYZ clutch in the back. We're still going with the white springs because I just didn't go through my drawer and actually try to find some older springs I had. I'm kind of just digging through old parts for this bike because we're not really buying much for it. So we stripped everything off of here. I realized quickly I didn't have another belt for this exact motor size, so we're going with the stock belt as well, which was actually really worn. So I think later in the video, there's a lot of belt slipping going on when we're riding this, and just a lot of other nonsense with way too high of revving, and just, yeah, we kind of just want to slap this thing together, boys. So let's do it. It is a free scooter. Why not? We just threw on a MOPBOYZ wing bell because our stock clutch bell was not working over this aftermarket MOPBOYZ clutch. It was literally like rubbing on it in certain areas. So now we have a MOPBOYZ front variator, MOPBOYZ clutch, and MOPBOYZ wing bell. So that's how we're looking. Still stock belt and a MOPBOYZ 1500 spring in here. Aerosol 70 kit, Polini CP19 carb. Alright, let's fire this thing up again. Alright, Vino, let's see what you got. Alright, cooling shrouds are on there, motor is complete, and this thing runs like a dream now. So it is time to go get this thing. Its first real ride on the Freno, also with the new motor build. So I've never really ran a 70 kit on one of these pipes. I run these pipes on the stock Elites, these V8 style pipes with a 50cc cylinder, and they rip. I've never tried it on a 70 kit, so I'm kind of interested to see because these are usually really good wheelie pipes. But as you can see, Vino runs solid now. Vino seems like it's gonna be a ripper, boys. Let's go try this thing out. This thing should be a wheelie machine. We got parts everywhere right now. Let's throw this clapped seat on and let's see what this thing's all about. All right, seat is all on there now. Freno is looking at its finest right now. Got the little Molosi air filter sticking out the side. It's well, actually, you know what? I'm not gonna say anything. Let's go ride it and see. Let's go see. A little sketched out to ride this thing. Let's hope everything else is bolted together. I forgot to bolt the seat up. Oh, that would have been sketchy. Oh shit. Okay, this thing's got some power to it. I had to fix the throttle and I put a screw in here so the throttle doesn't roll forward no more because it was doing the thing like the bug eye does. Clapped Freno meets the clapped bug eye. These things have a lot in common. I think our front tire's flat again already. We're gonna have to get a new tire. I just put air in this thing. We rode like 20 feet. It's already flat. Oh yeah, she's going flat already too. Front ends are soggy on this thing. Holy smokes. The way the front suspension moves on this, it is funky. Thing sounds terrible. Alright, the Freno sounds a little funky. CVT is definitely doing some weird stuff in here. Holy smokes. Oh, the back brake is terrible. Oh my god, we're only hitting about 50 miles per hour right now. It's an absolute clapper. What do we do with this thing? I don't even know. I think I have way too much air in the back tire and there's no air at all in the front tire. We're literally riding on the rim right now. Well, that was the cheapest big bore we've ever done on the channel right there. Under 200 bucks. We just took this thing from a stock scooter that was completely clapped out to a 70cc now. We can lower the RPM by trying to, you know, put heavier rollers. Maybe we'll lower the RPM and mess with that a little bit more, but we really just did the cheapest, most budget big bore kit, slapped it together all in one day and got this thing ripping and literally under $200, and we now have a whole 70cc swap scooter. Damn, we lost our gas cap. Oh no. Alright, we're gonna go take the bug eye to see if we can find that gas cap. Where did our gas cap go? I don't know if I like the bug eye with the shock riser because the seat's a little even more angled now. No way we just lost that gas cap, bro. There's no way. Oh yeah, boy. There she is. Old Faithful. That is what we call it on the clapped Freno. We just did the cheapest budget build using used parts and a cylinder and carb kit that was less than $200 total. And we got this thing actually running, which it wasn't before, and ripping wheelies now. So it has potential. Not sure what we're going to do with it. I'm going to leave that up to you guys. So leave a comment down below what you think we should do with the Freno. I will see you guys in the next video.